what are we doing right now? What's going on?
This is the alumni game. It's some sort of tradition that we have here that players from as far back as the mid-'80s come back and play against the current team. It's a good tradition.
This is a club sports team. What does that entail? What does that mean?
That means that we get very little funding from the school, and a lot of it has to be raised by ourselves through various fundraisers to pay coaches, pay referees, pay for time under the dome here in the winter. And I think that kind of builds camaraderie among us. It's a good deal that the school gives us to allow us to play here still, but we get a lot more funding through ourselves than a typical team.
All right, so what do you guys do for fundraising usually?
Clean up the stadium here after football games or high school soccer games or stuff like that. We've done crazy stuff in the past, like dunk tanks and cleaning up various events in the community. So.
All right, awesome. That's good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Today is our alumni game. We have a whole bunch of guys, past 24 years, been playing at this school, coming out today, play the current team. Well, club sport, we have to do a lot of different things at the school. We normally take care of us. We supply our own uniforms. We have to pay dues to ensure that we have a league to play for, pay for reps, rent field time depending on where we're playing. We also can't openly recruit people. It's all about once you get here, trying to get you to come out and have some fun with us. I played here for 4 years. I was a defenseman on the team. During that time, I was a captain and the president, so I helped manage scheduling, dues, things of that nature, and now I've taken over as a head coach. So we'll do things like today with the alumni, we'll have a raffle, give out some prizes at the end of the day. We'll do stadium cleanups where we clean the stadium. After big games, we'll assist in hockey parking. Basically a whole bunch of different things to help out the school, and in turn the school helps us out a bit.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You just play around the golf. Nice.
All right, keep those feet moving as fast as you can. Get awkward with it.
So what do you do for this team?
Manage field times, help with assigning games, manage players, make sure we got our documents up to date, create the constitution for the team, and just make sure everything runs smoothly.
Awesome. So you said manage field time. Do you guys not just get field time?
No, not being an NCAA sport and being a club sport, we have to kind of work around with what we got, and this is why we have practices so late in the year, going from 9 to 11 just about every night from when it starts in late August all the way through and into April and early May. We do it by working around the school, doing cleanups, setting up the dome, taking the dome down when it comes to that point in the year. By doing that, they allow us to use the fields for free, and we have to work around the NCAA schedules that they have to get the access that we want.
Awesome. So you've been around this team a while.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you? What does this team mean to you? Sort of. What has this team given to you?
Well, I've been able to travel to places I don't think I've ever been able to would have went if I would have not played lacrosse. I've gone to Chicago. I've gone to Oklahoma, Kansas, Iowa. Been to North Dakota a few times. So I've traveled a little bit within the Midwest, and it's also given me a lot of opportunities to branch out and talk to alumni, talk to people in the community that see us as vital information for startup programs in the area for youth all the way through high school. So we have a lot of coaches, including myself, that work in the area, and I don't think I would have gotten that experience if I didn't play lacrosse at state.
Does any one experience stand out to you? Anything that comes to mind immediately as a good experience?
Immediately, I think it would probably be Coming in here as a freshman and just being accepted right away, it was a great way for me to meet friends right off the bat. I knew that these guys would have my back and I'd have places to go and people to hang out with right when I stepped onto campus. So I knew them kind of coming into St. Cloud State, and once I stepped on campus, we had that first practice. You could immediately tell that these were going to be guys I was going to be friends with for probably the rest of my life. So I learned a lot from them, and I think they learned a lot from me. So those good experiences all around.
One last question. What would you say to someone who is maybe new to the sport, or someone who is considering coming out and playing but maybe hasn't quite yet?
Just got to stick with it. The stick handling stuff will come with time. I don't think I've ever met anyone who hasn't picked up a stick and played with us for a fall semester and hasn't absolutely loved it. I think everyone who's played it has kind of found a piece of it that they absolutely love. And like I said, it's a great opportunity for you to play organized collegiate athletics besides intramurals. And at St. Cloud State, we're probably the most organized sports club sport team on campus. So it works out very well for students who come and want to play.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you. White buckets, maybe.
Good, stop! Beautiful. Everybody slide to the left. Left hand guy.
And what are we doing here?
We're setting up the dome so we can practice in the winter and spring because it's very snowy here.
So how does that work? How come you have to help put up the dome?
Oh, actually what it does was when we help put up the dome, we get free field time, which is really nice because if we didn't, we had to pay an obscene amount of money for it.
How long does the dome setup take?
It depends. I mean, it can take, like, if it's done right, it can be done by like noon, but if it puts around, it could be like an all-day thing.
And how long are you here for?
Only 3 hours, so not too bad.
All right, thank you.
Oh, thanks.
You gotta change your hair. Then you gotta laugh. Like, we're having so much fun.
What makes this team different in terms of what do you guys have to fight with in order to practice, in order to get everyone to show up, sort of thing?
I think our biggest issue is just keeping people accountable. We don't have a lot of numbers, and that comes kind of our biggest issue is if people don't feel the need to be at practice because they know their spot's safe and they don't have to compete for it.
So would you say it's a bit more personal with lesser people involved?
Yep. I mean, I think it's more of a personal problem. I don't think it's the issue with practice. I mean, sometimes practices aren't what you want out of practice, but you're not the coach. You don't decide the practice. Your job is the athlete and to pay your dues, to be there. I mean, you get to play at a college level, which is more than most people can speak to and get to do. And it's something that we should cherish, and I think a lot of people overlook that.
So what do you personally do behind the scenes in order to make sure you can practice, make sure you show up at practice on time?
I mean, I've always been very accountable for practice. I don't think I've missed, other than being sick, and even so I still show up. I don't think I've missed a practice in my 3 years here. And I just try to make sure that I keep the people that I know are motivated for the team and want what's best for the team to be there. I think that's the most important thing. I mean, there are some people that you just can't motivate by talking to them or by telling them what they need to do. They got to figure it out for themselves, and if they don't want to hold it to the same, I guess, standard that I hold it to, where it's a college sport and it needs to be treated as such, I think that makes a huge difference.
So part of being a club program rather than an NCAA means you have to pay dues. How do you pay your dues?
I pay my dues. I save up through my summer job, and I mean, if I don't have them right away at the beginning of the year, my parents will help me pay them, and I'll just pay them back because they know to me it's important to play lacrosse and to live my dream of playing a college sport, even if it's not quite. I mean, it's not Division I, it's not Division III, but you know what? It's still competitive, and we still go out there and play just as hard as they do, and it's still something awesome. And so I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to pay your dues. If you save $100 a month for a year, your dues are paid.
Do you think it's any different between, you know, going to practice in high school where there's some kind of incentive there, or in the NCAA where there's sort of incentive? Is it harder for you mentally to convince yourself to go to practice, or do you know that people are counting on you?
I mean, I know that people are counting on me, and that's why I try never to miss practice, is I know that, I mean, something that's always true is the mics are going to be at practice. It's been that way for 3 years now, and we try to keep it that way. And we hold each other accountable, we hold our household accountable, and we always have. And I think that's kind of been a way that we stay on top of it, but I mean, it's different than high school because you don't have your parents telling you it's good for you, you don't have coaches telling you it's good for you, you do it because it's what you love. And if you don't love it, then maybe it's not for you, but I think, I mean, it's one of the most important things in my life, through and through always. So I think lacrosse will always be something that will go a step above something else for me.
That playbook and believe in our values. You do all those things, it's going to be a nice big win today, and we've got the rest of it to enjoy. Right? Beautiful weather outside, I know it's cold, but it's sunny. It's the best day we could win. Alright? Make today great. Break it down, hydrate, we're ready to go. Let's win today, let's go. Let's go, boys! Let's get it! Husky COMM3! 1, 2, 3, Huskies!